Hello everyone, myself Professor Seema RB from KLS VDIT Haryal. So today I am going to explain the first lecture of subject Municipal and Industrial Wastewater Treatment. Its subject code is 18CV55. So let us begin with the introduction part of today's session. So the today's session starts with the necessity of sanitation. So every community produces both liquid and as well as solid wastes. The liquid portion, that is nothing but the wastewater, is essentially the water supply of the community after it has been fouled by a variety of uses such as spent water from bathroom, kitchen, laboratory, basins, houses and street washings. From various industrial processes, semi-solid wastes of human and animal excreta, dry refuse of house and street sweepings, broken furniture, wastes from industries, etc. are produced daily. So these are the waste which are going to be generated on daily basis. If a proper arrangements for the collection, treatment and disposal are not made, they will go on accumulating and create foul condition. If untreated water is accumulating, the decomposition of the organic materials it contains can lead to the production of large quantity of malodorous gases. It also contains nutrients which can stimulate the growth of aquatic plants, and it may contain toxic compounds. Therefore, in the interest of community of the city or town, it is most essential to collect, treat and dispose of all the waste produced or products of the city in such a way that it may not cause any hazardous effect on people residing in town and environment. Wastewater engineering is defined as the branch of environmental engineering where the basic principles of the science and engineering for the problems of the water pollutions. The ultimate goal of the waste water management is the protection of the environmental in manner with the economic, social and political concerns. Although the collection of stream water and drainage dates from ancient times, the collection of wastewater can be treated only to the early 1800s. The systematic treatment of wastewater followed in the 18,000 and 19,000. So the main objective of treating the wastewater to understand sewerage network and influencing the parameters. So this is regarding the necessity for sanitation. Now let us study what are the importance of sewage system. So the importance of sewerage system are one of the fundamental principles of the sanitation of the community is to remove all decomposable matter, solid waste, liquid or gaseous away from the premises of dwellings as fast as possible after it is produced to a safe place without causing any nuisance and dispose it in a suitable manner so as to make it permanently harmless. So sanitation, though motivated preliminary for meeting the ends of preventive health, has come to be recognized as a way of life. In this context, development of the sanitation infrastructure of any country could possibly serve as a sensitive index of its level of prosperity. It is needless to emphasize that for attaining the goals of good sanitation, sewerage system is very essential, while provision of potable drinking water takes precedence in order of provision of environmental engineering services. The importance of sewerage system cannot be lost sight and cannot be allowed to lag behind, as all the water used by the community has to flow back to the sewage loaded with the wastes of community living unless properly collected, treated and disposed of. This would create a serious water pollution problems. So this is how the importance of sewerage system is necessary. Now let us study about few definitions of some common terms used in the sanitary engineering. So refuse. Refuse is nothing but it is the most general term to indicate the wastes, which include all the rejects left as worthless, sewage, sludge. All these terms are included in these terms. So refuse is nothing but it is the waste which is worthless, which is a sewage or a sludge. So this particular type of a waste is called as a refuse. Next comes the garbage. So garbage is nothing but it is a dry refuse which includes waste paper, sweepings from streets and markets, vegetable peelings, etc. The quantity of garbage per head per day amount to be about 0.14 to 0.24 kg for Indian conditions. Garbage contains large amount of organic and purifying matter and therefore should be removed as quickly as possible. So garbage is nothing but it is the waste which includes like waste paper, it may be a broken wooden, it may be a peel of a vegetable, or it may be a sweepings which is occurred from the streets and markets. So according to Indian standards, the amount of garbage produced per head per day lies between 0.14 to 0.24 kg. The garbage contains a large amount of organic and putrefying matter and therefore should be removed as quickly as possible. If not, it is going to produce the foul smell. Next comes the rubbish. It consists of sundry solid wastes from the residencies, offices and other buildings. So it may include like a broken furniture, paper, rags, etc. are included in these terms. It is generally dry and combustible. Let us move on to sludge. Sludge is nothing but it is the discharge from the bathrooms, kitchens, wash basins, etc. It does not include discharge from the lavatories. Hospitals, operation theatres, slaughterhouses which has a high organic matter. So generally sludge is nothing but it is the waste which is generated from the bathrooms, kitchen waste and the wash basins, etc. So these water can be also provided for gardening purposes. And next let us discuss about the sewage. It is the dilute mixture of the wastes of various types from the residential, public and industrial places. So it includes the sewage water and foul discharge from the water closets, urinals, hospitals, stables, etc. So if the waste which is generated only from the bathrooms, kitchens and wash basins are termed as sewage, whereas the sewage which is occurred from the residential buildings, public and industrial places, which includes the foul discharge from the water closets, urinals, hospitals, stables, etc., are termed as sewage. So, this is the difference between a sewage, sewage, and next, let us discuss about the storm water. Storm water nothing but it is the surface runoff obtained during and after the rainfall which enters sewers through inlet. So the storm water is not foul as sewage and hence it can be carried in the open drains and can be disposed of in the natural rivers without any difficulty. So storm water is nothing but it is the water which is occupied on the surface of the roads. So when this rainwater or the storm water which will be available on the surface of the road is drained off in some trenches or open drains and then it is discharged into the natural streams or rivers. Though the storm water contains only the muddy particles, silt and soil particles. Next, let us discuss about the sanitary waste. Apart from that, the storm water can be also be collected into the openings which is provided in vertical direction inside the ground, and the rainwater is directly discharged into the groundwater also to increase the groundwater table. Next, let us discuss about the sanitary sewage. So sanitary sewage, it is the sewage obtained from the residential buildings and industrial effluents establishments. Being extremely foul, it is found to be carried throughout the underground conduits. So this is the sanitary waste which is generally obtained from the residential buildings and industrial effluents. Next, let us discuss about the domestic sewage. Domestic sewage is nothing but it is the sewage obtained from the lavatory basins, urinals, and water closets of houses, offices, and institutions. It is highly foul on account of night soil and urine contained in it. Night soil starts purifying and gives offensive smell. It must contain or it may contain large amount of bacteria due to the excremental wastes of patients. This sewage requires great handling and disposal. So domestic waste is nothing but it is the waste usually generally obtained from the lavatory basins, urinals and water closets, and even from the hospitals, institutions, offices and so on. Next comes the industrial sewage. Industrial sewage is nothing but it is the waste which contains of spent water from industries and commercial areas. The degree of foulness depends on the nature of the industry concerned and processes involved. So these are the some of the few definitions, and next comes the sewers. Sewers are the underground pipes which carries the sewage to a point of disposal, and whereas sewerage, the entire system of collecting, carrying, and disposal of sewage through sewers is known as sewerage. The last term is bacteria. So bacteria are nothing but these are the microscopic organisms. The following are the groups of bacteria like aerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, and facultative bacteria. Aerobic bacteria are nothing but they require oxygen and light for their survival. Anaerobic bacteria are those bacteria that do not require free oxygen and light for survival. Facultative bacteria. So these type of a bacteria can exist in the presence or absence of oxygen. They grow more in absence of air. So these are the different type of bacteria, that is aerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, and facultative bacteria. So the next term which we are going to discuss now is nothing but sludge. Sludge is nothing but it is the organic matter deposited in the sedimentation tank during the treatment. Sedimentation tank is nothing but it is the tank which is provided in order to sediment the particles. So there are different stages of purification of wastewater is there, in which sedimentation tank helps the particles to sediment at the bottom of the tank, and later the sediment particles will be disposed of, or it can be used as a fertilizers in the fields. So this is regarding the today's session. Now let us recall the things which we have discussed in the today's lecture session. So in the first part we discussed about the necessity of sanitation. So what is sanitation and why it is necessary for sanitation? Because we know that different communities dispose of different type of wastes, and regarding the different type of waste already we have discussed, like there are numerous type of waste which is classified like sewage, sludge, stormwater, sewerage, and so on. So the importance of sewerage system we have discussed briefly, and these are the definitions. The definitions are refuse, garbage, rubbish, sludge, sewage, stormwater, sanitary sewage, domestic sewage, industrial sewage, sewers, sewerage, bacteria, and sludge. So these are the different definitions which they are going to ask you in the examination. So my dear students, it is very difficult to remember these definitions. So make sure that you are going to write all the things in a proper way in the examination. So the questions to be asked in this particular session will be on. So after successful completion of this particular topic, you will be able to define the importance of sewerage system. You will be able to classify different types of sewages, and you will be able to understand the necessity of sewage system. So these are the outcomes, the course outcomes of today's covered highlights. So in this particular session you will be able to define the importance of sewerage system, why it is necessary to provide the sewage system, and secondly you will be able to classify different type of sewage. We know that there are different type of sewages are there, which are both in dry as well as wet conditions, and you'll be able to understand the necessity of sewage system. So the application of this particular today's topic is, it is used to understand the type of sewage systems. And my dear students, the questions for practice and as well as for assignments are, you have to explain the type of sewages and what is the necessity of sewage system. So these are the two important questions, so which are likely to be asked in the examination. So my dear students, you can refer BC Punmiya book for this topic, and if you are having any doubts, then you can ask me. So I hope you understood the today's topic. So this is the topic which I have covered today for today's session, and in the next session we'll be discussing the other parts like combined system. So different type of systems are there, so for treatment of a sewage, so those things will be covered in the next class. And make sure that you are going to write the assignment questions which is given in the PDF, which will be provided, which will be submitted through the WhatsApp. So in this particular topic which I have covered, many a times in the final examination they are going to ask what is the necessity for sanitation, which is very important question which they are going to ask for at least 8 marks, 6 to 8 marks. And please write the objectives of the sanitation and the importance of sewerage system. So in case of a importance of sewerage system, many students they are going to write same answer for necessity and as well as importance of sewerage system. So students, make sure that necessary is different and importance of sewerage system is different. So the definitions are also going to be asked in the examination, that is on refuse, garbage, rubbish, sewage, sewage and so on. So even they are going to ask you the questions on industrial sewage like sewers and sewerage and type of bacteria. So bacteria are generally present in the organic waste. Organic waste are nothing but these are the waste which includes like vegetable waste, or even it may be a human or animal excreta. So these components or these waste consist of organic materials, and therefore different type of microscopic organisms will be present in it. Few of them will be aerobic bacteria, few of them will be anaerobic bacteria, and few of them may also facultative bacteria. So initially the waste, that is nothing but the sewage, we can say it is light gray in color, but as the time passes these organisms will be feeding on this sewage, and with the help of oxygen. So with the help of oxygen, what happens, the particular sewage is going to decompose, and finally you are going to see a black color sewage. So the black color sewage indicates the final decomposition. After final decomposition, there will be no further decomposition takes place. So this is how, by looking into the color of the sewage, we can make out that whether the sewage is fresh or it is completely decomposed. So my dear students, this is all for today. Let us meet in the next session with a new topic. Thank you very much.